Ambassador Solomon, thank you very much for your kind introduction. Dr. Wang, Ernestine, it's with a great degree of humility and thanks that I stand here. I'm not quite sure what this award is going to me for, because I had a relatively minor role in what's an ongoing effort by many people in this country and in China as well to try to build bridges between the militaries of the two countries. But before I say a few more words about that, I'd like to, Dr. Wang, first of all, apologize for being out of uniform. I know that I'm not in the appropriate attire. Now, my wife, Mary, who is here across the table, would tell you that it's probably a good thing I don't have the more formal gear on, because I usually end up with my wine or my soup down the front of it, so I'm helping myself. But first, I want to highlight my wife's contribution to the relationship between the U.S. and China. So I was the official, the old guy that went out to do the official things, the formal things, if you would, with the state officials, the military officials. But it was Mary who actually got out to meet the people and got to places I couldn't go very easily without a crowd, got to know people in China, and got to build relationships that are so essential to the future. So Mary, thank you, and you ought to be getting this award at least as much as that. While I'm recognizing family, somewhere in the back there, my daughter Susan and her husband John are enjoying the feast, and my youngest daughter Christy and her friend Michael are also down there. Now, they're actually here to keep me anchored, which they do a very credible job of, but nice of you kids to join us tonight. There's a bit of business, I think. Ariane, where are you? Where is Miss Rosen? In the back. So much of this evening has been made possible by her good work and her work on a day-to-day basis. And a bird whispered in my ear that it may be your birthday today. Is that correct? So let's have a round of applause for Ariane. Secretary Chow, Congressman Larson, several very distinguished ambassadors, distinguished guests. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. I'm not going to give a long speech. I'd just like to make a couple of points. I think there's no more important relationship in today's world than the one between the United States and the PRC. And that's because of the incredibly large number of people involved, the populations of the two countries, the relative impact economically and militarily, socially, and every other aspect on this world. And as we look to the future, it's something that requires, in my opinion, a lot of attention and a lot of hard work. And of all aspects of the relationship between the U.S. and the PRC, the one that I found, certainly during my time out in the Pacific, that was lacking and dragging behind the others was the relationship between the two militaries. I think it's very, very important that this be addressed on a regular basis, and the attention that's now being paid to it, I think, is very appropriate. It's important because as the two countries continue to evolve, and as China's growth and stature increase in Asia, and their impact in Asia and the rest of the world grows, there's going to be some certain inevitability of competition. And I think it's critically important that that competition be channeled in a way that's helpful to the people of our two countries and the world. And the necessity, in my opinion, for good relations and a good understanding between the military leaders and on down the, as we say in the military, chain of command, from the highest to the more junior people, is very, very important. And it's important because we cannot afford, in my opinion, to make a mistake, to make a misjudgment, to make assumptions that are based on a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding. And unless, in my experience of some years out at sea and in dealing with people in other countries, unless people get to know one another and understand what they're thinking about and understand their priorities and fundamentally recognize that people, whether they're from China, the United States, from Europe, from Africa, whatever, that we're fundamentally the same people with the same desires and needs, then potential trouble looms. And particularly when you have a country like China, which has been evolving dramatically in the last half century, and a world power like the United States, which has been basically the dominant power in the world since the end of World War II, there's going to be an inevitable series of frictions. And so as the sort of advance force of our countries, and I would speak particularly of the navies, as a Navy man, I'm very, very aware of the fact that it's the people in the Navy who go out in the world on a regular basis, that go to the distant corners of the oceans and meet people in China. And as the Chinese capabilities increase, they're coming increasingly out to other areas, and we see that in visits. So these two militaries are going to touch one another. And as we do that, we really need to work hard at making sure that we have an understanding and appreciation of one another and a respect that I believe will only come from getting to really know people and getting to work with them and appreciate them. So Dr. Wong, many, many people, men and women in this country, the United States, have been working very hard at this relationship building. And I know that's shared by many people in China that I've come in contact with. So I may be the recipient as an individual of this thing, but believe me, the credit really belongs to those many thousands of people that are out there on a daily basis actually engaging with one another, getting to know and learn and appreciate what it is that people do and need, and to make this a better world. So thank you very much for the distinguished honor, undeserved as it is. I want to thank the Foundation for the ongoing work that they do in an effort to try to improve relations between the two countries. And I thank each and every one of you for being here, honoring Dr. Wong and Ernestine and the rest of the folks who have made this evening possible. Thank you very much.